And I just want to talk about how you can develop brilliant skiing and snowboard riding for yourself every single day. And the point of that is that people tend to be focused on whether you're having a breakthrough or not. Like, I got to have a breakthrough, I got to have a breakthrough. And then most of the time you spend slogging across the plateau looking for the breakthrough. And what I believe is that every day on skis is a brilliant day, even when I'm not at peak performance. I don't have to be skiing great or hot or fast or perfectly to have a brilliant day on skis. And it all involves what my friend Tom Crum talks about, letting go of judgment and start working towards discovery and finding out really what is out there for me, and realizing that as I learn things, there's a trial and error process, and I won't be doing it great all the time, but I can do it in a way where I really enjoy it, where it's really sort of a brilliant experience for me all the time. The Sports Diamond is the platform that we're developing to allow you to create that brilliant day every day. And what that does is get you in a situation where you can sort of develop a new fascination with different approaches to the same problem, to the puzzle of how to match my movement patterns and my ideas to the snow and the pitch and the skis that are out there each day. And classically, what we've done in sports teaching is develop a sort of a technical input for people, tell them what their moves are. And we can confuse you so much with our elaborate description of your moves and your menu of mistakes that we can actually paralyze you entirely on the hill. Even on a nice day, you can have a much less than brilliant day if you're too focused on the technical aspects of skiing. And what we're trying to do is break out of that a little bit. The technique is important. Sure, we want to have you have a clear idea of what the moves are, what the one little move is that cues all the rest of the moves and breaks you through the threshold so that you can be sort of creative and efficient and effective and versatile in your skiing. But technique is only part of the game. And the technique part of the diamond, that's the corner we call power, is an important part of the game. It involves the moves as well as the biomechanics, as well as the physics that are out there, as well as the equipment. We feel it's just as important to talk about the purpose. If you have a bunch of moves in your mind and you're not really sure what they're designed to make your skis do in the snow and your body do as it floats down the mountain, then all that technical stuff is completely useless. So we want to focus a little bit on purpose. What is the purpose of this? What are we trying to make our skis do? How are we going to have the skis interact with the snow? Are they going to go sideways? Are they going to go through kind of a drifting turn? Are they going to carve, slice with the edges? Are we going to make short turns? Are we going to make long turns? Are we going to make a variety and be creative with our line? Shall we ski bumps? Shall we ski groomed? Those are the purpose issues. And lots of times people have a tough time on skiing because they're just absolutely unclear what they're trying to get the skis to do. A third corner of the diamond is touch. And, you watch a lot of great athletes. What an amazing sensory awareness and sensory connection to the medium that they're working in, whether it be a wave or the green on a golf course or the surface of a tennis court. How the ball feels when it hits the racket, how the edges feel when they connect with the snow. These are the sensory aspects, and they include things like timing, and they include things like intensity of a movement or duration of a movement. They include rhythm and flow. In fact, I would say that rhythm and flow is the fundamental greatest principle of touch, because that's where the pieces connect, and that's where fragmented sports activities become a dance. It's not just one shot, it's the whole point. It's not just one turn, it's about 10 or 20, 30 turns down a whole mountainside. Another part of touch is the issue of fun and joy. That's where that's one of the main reasons people say out here, well, what do you come out here for? Well, I come out here to have fun. That's you merging with what's out here and sort of recreating yourself in a sort of literal definition of recreation. The fourth corner is will, and that's kind of what you got to bring to the party. That's you making decisions and making commitments and being accountable for those. Issues that have to do with will are managing anxiety. Issues that have to do with will are driving the skis down the fall line or letting yourself go over the handlebars, as it were, as you're attacking the turn. It's realizing that gravity is your friend, gravity is your motor, and so that you got to be accountable for the decision to go ahead and move with gravity. And if that's gravity's going to pull you down the hill, you got to be willing to appreciate that and willing to work with that. Also, you got to be willing to live within your mistakes, live within your trial and error issue. If you're going to have a brilliant day and you don't have the will to decide that everything that happens out here is useful, then it's going to be a little bit tougher day. What am I willing to risk in terms of temporary trial and error in order to get better later? The technique for managing all of the corners of the diamond, which is purpose, power, will, and touch, the technique for managing them together is to recognize when you're beginning to get stuck in one of these resources or corners or another. When you start to get stuck, or when you start to get uncomfortable or things start to fall apart, the normal tendency for people is to narrow the focus and really try to nail down that piece that's bothering them, whether it's a technical issue or a certain line in the bumps. And that's precisely the time you should go the other way and shift from one resource or corner to another resource or corner, because you can come back to the issue that's bothering you, but you're going to come in the back door, as it were. You're not going to sit there and face it head on, face the wall head on. You're going to go around the wall. For example, if I'm not understanding the move, I'm not going to spend that much time on the move. I'm going to go to purpose and say, okay, what really is it that I want the skis to do? And what am I willing to do to make that happen? And how might that feel in my boots, in my ankles, in my body, in my mind, in my emotions? And then sometimes if I start working those other pieces, that takes care of the issue that I was blocked on in the technical or power resource that I was talking about. So what the game is here is to shift with frequency and agility between and among the resources of the sports diamond. If you do that, you will have a balanced growth. You got 4 cylinders, your car's going to be working on all 4 cylinders. If you don't do that, your automobile's working on 1 or 2 or 3 cylinders, and things start to collapse pretty quickly. Okay.